Hey guys, this is Sir Hooligan coming at you with another video. Scary video at that. Now, this one's 15 creepy dolls caught moving on tape. I'm not a big doll person, and I will never be. I don't know about y'all. Hit in the comments if y'all are or not. And we'll see what happens. I mean, whatever. And again, thanks for all the subscribers, new people. Love y'all guys. Hope y'all enjoy the content. I enjoy it. I enjoy talking to y'all. So, thank y'all so much. Anyways, y'all ready to get into this video? Because I'm ready. I suppose. But anywho, let's get it.
Some dolls are just downright disturbing.
Chucky is a big no-no for me. Nip. Nip.
The look of them sends shivers down your spine. But if you've ever had that odd sensation that they might be watching you, you may not be too far off. There are some stories out there that would make your hair stand on end. From the doll with a wooden framed body that appears to come alive to the blinking ventriloquist dummy, here are 15 creepy dolls caught moving on tape. Number 15. Walking Alone. If you've ever seen the night bus on Harry Potter, where a Jamaican man's head hangs off the windshield but still talks, then the clip of this unusual doll may not be quite as disturbing. A large group of people are walking down a busy street, but no one seems to notice the bizarre figure accompanying a gentleman as he steps out in his bright red sneakers. In fact, all is relatively calm. I don't know about you, but I, for one, would be at least stopping to take a closer look before hightailing it out of there. This doll, if you could call it that, looks for all the world like...
This doll looks creepy. This doll is not going to get near me. I hope. It can walk, but I can run. I'll just put it to you that way. I'll tell you that.
Like a severed human head with a ton of white makeup on and red lipstick, hammered onto a wooden frame. Why anyone in their right mind would want to be walking down a busy street in the middle of the day with such a peculiar-looking doll on their arm, I'm unsure. But perhaps it's a normal daily occurrence for this chap. Who knows? And if you didn't think the situation could get any worse, it does. The doll appears to be walking by itself. Okay, the guy is holding it by the wooden arm, but its feet are moving without any assistance whatsoever. Either this disturbing character has been crafted by some genius, or it's alive. Personally, I'm hoping Pinocchio's Geppetto's had a hand in this one, because any other...
There has to be some kind of mechanism in there for him to be able to do that. Whatever it is, talented. Give you a clap, my sir.
Other scenario is just too frightening to think about, don't you think? Before we go on, we have a cool challenge for y'all. It'll take about 5 seconds to complete. Let's make a deal. Just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 10 years of amazing luck and fortune. Try it. It actually works. Number 14. Doll Blinks. There's some truly disturbing video footage that has been released online of what appears to be a ventriloquist doll locked inside a glass cupboard. And that's not even the scary part. The footage starts out as simply a still shot of the doll head sitting in its case. Its eyes at this stage are shut and its mouth slightly open. It's not clear where the video was taken, but it seems to be some sort of museum or room of displays. The clip just seems like your average security cam footage. However, after just a few short seconds, the doll's eyes slide open, and shortly after that, the display case swings open. From here, it shuts its eyes, and its mouth begins to move like it has something to say. It was probably something like, "Get me out of here." Well, maybe.
It's probably saying, where's my body? Get me my body, or make me my body. Or better yet, give me that wooden body that moves so I can walk around and see what everybody's doing. And put a voodoo curse on you. It's probably what he's doing.
You're not alone. The video was was captured by collector Michael Diamond, who had set up the camera because he had noticed the latch of the case had been left open a few times over the course of a week. But even after watching the footage, he still had no explanation as to why the doll, affectionately known as Mr. Fritz, was moving on its own. He insists the footage was no stunt, and he was so shocked that he has locked Mr. Fritz away permanently under a blanket and heavy chains. Who could blame him? Number 13. Caught moving on camera. This CCTV footage was captured of a puppet moving at night, but the story behind it is even more sinister than the movements themselves. The puppet was said to have choked its former owner in the middle of the night, so he was understandably locked away in a sealed glass container. The footage that was released is barely 60 seconds long, but gives us more than enough information to be completely spooked. Quite frankly, watching the footage is unnerving enough without the knowledge of what this particular fellow was capable of doing prior to his imprisonment. The footage is simply of the puppet sitting in its container, and for the majority of it, the puppet just starts repetitively moving its foot up and down. It takes its time in doing so, which makes things even more...
It's trying to break the glass so it can come choke you again. Me, if that was me with that doll, I would chain it up, put it in a suitcase full of cement, and go out on a cruise and throw that thing overboard. I'll tell you that right now. That is exactly what I'll do.
Eerie looking. However, even a slight movement like this is enough to send shivers down the spines of the bravest souls, of which I'm not one. If this doll has the ability to choke a grown man in the middle of the night, then its current owner might need to reconsider the safe house it's presently enclosed in. I mean, a glass box could easily be broken by this guy, surely. Some options I can think of off the top of my head might include a pass-coded underground safe or an underwater coffin. Whatever the case, this guy needs to be securely locked up, don't you think?
Yeah.
Number 12. Haunted doll moves arm. Ah, yes, a room completely stocked full of old, creepy-looking dolls. What could be scary about that? Well, for one, this is almost every child's nightmare. At least every child with a soul. In fact, there are also adults out there that are haunted by dolls. Whether they remember that peculiar-looking clown porcelain doll or...
The look of this irritates me because I hate dolls. I mean, look at that one with the black eyes. Come on now, dolls ain't... Dolls, they get attached too much. I mean, look at Annabella, a movie that I cannot stand and will not watch ever again.
Lifelike character that sat on a chair in their room, or perhaps had the sneaking suspicion one was watching them, who knows? But some dolls simply belong in nightmares in general. This clip is clearly of someone's spare bedroom because there's no way anyone in their right mind could sleep in there. This is the stuff of horror movies. Sinister music playing in the background doesn't help, and neither do the hundreds of faces staring blankly at the camera as it takes in the scene of the room. There are dolls everywhere, of all shapes, sizes, and races. There are also several clowns in the crowd, the only ones with smiles on their faces. This video is unnerving to watch from the get-go. The dim lighting and slow camera movement leaves the viewer wondering if something's gonna jump out of nowhere, a little bit like a scene out of Child's Play. As the fan spins away above the group of dolls, the camera zooms in on a select group, and that's when you see it. At 48 seconds in, you could easily blink and miss it, the moment where a doll moves its arm ever so slightly up and then down. It's quick, but it is there. It happens so quickly, but when you go back and watch it again or in slow motion, it's genuinely quite scary. Even more so because you know it's gonna happen. To be completely honest, I wouldn't mind meeting the person that owns all these dolls. They're obviously not easily spooked, that's for sure. Number 11. Haunted doll moves at dawn. The background to this clip sounds like a radio that hasn't been tuned properly, fuzzy and downright annoying. But if you can sit through it, you will be well rewarded for your patience.
Oh, good God, no! Just a preview scared me. Come on now. Aim at the dang doll. And I'm glad I didn't see that movie. I had friends wanting me to see that movie, and I know why. Ain't happening.
Think the item being knocked off the side of the chair is what you've been waiting to see? You are mistaken. There is much more to this 2-minute footage than meets the eye. In fact, some of what happens is so subtle, you might not even notice it the first time around. So there might not be any jump scares, but a doll sitting on a chair being recorded for this amount of time must have something to hide, surely. And it does. The video is simply of a blonde-haired doll in old-fashioned clothing sitting on a chair next to a small clock. It's a very eerie experience to sit through the entire clip, as you expect something crazy to happen at any moment. After about 40 seconds of silence, the doll's arm begins to shift slowly for a solid 20 seconds or so. Then, for the rest of the clip, its head turns to face the other direction. It's not the creepiest video out there, but just the pure silence and the visual of a doll moving on its own is enough to send shivers down the spine and create goosebumps across the arms of those brave enough to watch it. Number 10. Doll comes to life. We often see in horror films that children are the prime target for spirits.
Oh my God. I hate Chucky. I'm telling you right now. I think this one ain't even about the dolls. It's the previews this guy's showing that I do not like. At all. And I hate Chucky. Chucky's the worst one out there. Doll-wise. Annabelle too, but good Lord.
In some cases, these spirits take the form of a doll or toy.
Oh, good Lord, good Lord. Jesus, save me. Save me right now from this.
Poltergeist and countless others. However, the difference being that, for the most part, these stories...
Why? I do not know why I put myself through this, people. This is downright wrong. God, me almighty.
Fictional. You would never expect to see such disturbing things happen right before your very eyes. This clip, however, shows us that it is possible. A little girl is seen innocently playing with an assortment of dolls and toys. She's having a lovely time chatting to herself, but viewers can't help but be drawn to a small doll sitting alone off to the side of the room. As the video progresses, the doll can be seen slowly tilting its head while the girl is too busy playing to notice. The footage then cuts to the lounge room where the same child is drawing at a table. A few seconds in, she notices her paper is moving on its own. This action obviously spooks her, and she takes off out of the room. A wise move, considering what happens next. What appears to be some sort of invisible entity begins throwing her crayons, pencils, and papers everywhere. The clip ends with the table slowly moving on its own across the room. There's no way to tell if this was staged, but it's...
I mean, I don't know. That doll's mean. They shouldn't be doing that to a little girl. But spirits don't care, and it is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
Very convincing. If it is real, the house is obviously possessed by at least one, if not two, spirits of some kind. I'd be putting up for sale sign out front as soon as possible, but hey, that's just me. Number 9. Possessed Barbie Doll. This clip is another blink and you'll miss scenario, but it's well worth a watch. The video is of a little girl playing with her 2 Barbie dolls. One of the dolls has pink hair, so is clearly a more modern version, and the other is blonde. Now, although she looks pretty ordinary and isn't playing much of a role in the pretend conversation between the two, you still want to keep an eye on her. She's the one that really has the talent here. I kid you not. The little girl is talking away, making the pink-haired Barbie wave at her blonde-haired friend, completely focused on the dolls. Her father yells out to her, and she replies, unhappy at being interrupted from her play. But whether the blonde Barbie thinks she needs a talking to, or she just wants to join in the one-sided conversation, we may never know. But she twists her head quickly around to stare at her. For me, it was rather unnerving, but the reaction from the little girl was priceless. I'm sorry, made me chuckle. She dropped the dolls, screamed, and fled from the room. I wonder what she said to her father. We can only imagine how that conversation played out. Number 8.
The father probably didn't believe her. And then until you know, until something happened. So, you never know. What is it? But, anyways, let's get to...
The Haunted Teddy Bear. A haunted castle and a haunted teddy. What could possibly go wrong? The infamous teddy bear that's owner was forced to bury 30 miles away due to some rather bizarre occurrences features in this real-life horror story. Its owner, Denise, said that the bear would often growl through the night. She believed it also caused her to suffer from splitting headaches and nausea. A team of 3 volunteers traveled to stay in one of Britain's most famous haunted sites, Bolsover Castle, where they spent an entire...
There's your reason why. That's the reason. You went in there, and I'm going to guess either you took a teddy bear or there's a teddy bear in there, or it just got attached to you and went to the teddy bear. That's my guess. Let's see what they say.
Night in the same room as the supposedly haunted bear. With the help of paranormal investigators and a heavy supply of ghost hunting equipment, the group managed to find plenty of evidence to back up Denise's claims. They spotted supernatural entities, known as orbs, traveling around the room as they slept, whilst the cameras also went out at the beginning of the witching hour. The spirit box was used to translate the ghostly presence as it warned the group to stay away. It's hard to tell if the evidence points towards the spirits within the castle or the spirits within the bear, but I suppose it's supernatural evidence nonetheless. Number 7. Composition doll moves.
It's exactly something I wouldn't do. Duh.
On its own. A completely stationary clip that lasts for all of 30 seconds shows an old composition doll that looks like it's seen better days. These dolls are already unnerving enough on their own without any real facial or stylistic features. The doll moves in the video very slowly and only with its right hand as if trying to answer a question in the classroom. When the light changes in the room it's sitting in, the doll returns to its previous position, which is also rather odd. Although it was an uncomfortable 30 seconds for the person watching, how would you like to be the person who caught the unexpected movement on camera? Apparently, the owner was quite startled by the situation. Prior to seeing this, he hadn't believed in ghosts or supernatural entities. Wonder what he thinks now. This moment may have just converted him into a believer. Unless, of course, he's playing the audience like a fiddle. It's hard to tell. Number 6. 100-year-old doll moves by itself. This 6-minute clip is of a 100-year-old doll that was left sitting on its own for 24 hours by its owners. That seems normal enough. I mean, dolls aren't like children. They don't need to be supervised every hour of every day. It's nice for them to be played with occasionally, but they're just toys. Or are they? The footage from this camera
Nip, 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 nip.
was retrieved after the doll had been recorded for the whole 24 hours, and what they found was shocking. The doll's body and limbs move sporadically over the course of the clip, with its face twitching every so often. In fact, it's truly disturbing to view. The doll looks like a real live baby, but with a blank, haunting stare. The clip, however, has come under fire, as many believe the doll is mechanical and being controlled by a person standing elsewhere. If that theory is to be believed, then one must ask why on earth they would film it for such a long period of time. Either way, it's a bizarre clip, and one I wouldn't be keen to watch under the cover of darkness. Number 5. Dolls.
First off, I wouldn't be buying no 100-year-old baby doll. No. Second off, do y'all see these dolls coming up right now? No. Someone brought one of these dolls to me. Its head's gonna be smashed on a wall or something, and then off my property. Tell you that right now.
Eyes follow you. This This entry is certainly the most believable of the bunch. However, that just makes it all the creepier. The spooky backing track adds more atmosphere to the dimly lit black and white clip as the camera sways back and forth, playing on 4 ghost-like dolls. These things are literally terrifying.
Yeah.
In fact, they're so realistic that they actually look like toddlers dressed up for Halloween. With their eyes appearing to move from side to side, you expect one to jump up and say boo any minute, but it just doesn't happen because, the figures are dolls. Well, at least that's what we're led to believe. They are some of the ugliest dolls. Left alone in a dark room with these, I would lose my mind. And I doubt I would be alone either. They all look positively zombie-like. Dressed like a court jester, a baby, a young girl, and a clown, and with rolling eyes to match. Get me out of here. Stat. Number?
I think they make dolls somehow. I don't know how they do it. Tell me how they do it in the comments. I do not know. But they make their eyes some way to where they can look all around, like follow you while you're watching it. I don't know. But does it creep me out? Oh yeah. I'll give that one a 1 to 100, and I'm gonna break the barrier 110%. Creepy. No. Anyways, let's get to number 4.
Number 4. Haunted doll moves on its own. These types of videos make great use of their night vision equipment, and this almost 30-second clip is no different. Up first is a dimly lit room, with just the glow of the camera allowing us to see what's going on. 3 dolls are set up on what appears to be a shelf, all sitting together in the dead of night. One can only imagine how this is going to play out. The smaller of the 3 is the one to keep an eye on. This is obviously the most troublesome of them all. Sounds a bit like most families, doesn't it? The smallest, most innocent child is always the one to be watchful of. Just a few seconds in, and the tiny doll starts to move its arm ever so slightly before keeling over onto the doll next to it. It then moves its arm in a downwards motion before falling completely off the shelf like a drunk at a party. We've all seen things fall off shelves before. Whether you choose to believe it's paranormal or not is entirely...
And even that guy jumped up and down and near it to see if it's going to fall over or something. Maybe it's just moving because of, I don't know. Yeah. Anywho. No. I won't be going there. I'll tell you that. Because even though if you get rid of the doll, spirit could still be there. Sorry, excuse me. Spirit, spirit. Why in the heck spirit? I don't know why. Spirit can be there still, even though the dog's gone. Just hops on something else or somebody.
Entirely up to you, but the videographer was more than convinced, and also a little traumatized, listing the doll for sale soon after. Who could blame him, really? Number 3. Creepy doll.
Oh, no.
If this footage wasn't so traumatizing for the child, it would actually be funny. This very short clip sends...
Y'all understand how traumatized I would be if I had a doll and do that, or if I had anything that did that? I'd be very traumatized. They'd probably have to put me in a psych center, because I'd go crazy. I do not like dolls. Period.
Literal chill.
And the little pop characters they got out now? No, I don't do that either.
Chills down your spine, and the little girl will no doubt have nightmares for the rest of her days. The video shows a young girl holding a large-scale doll in a pink dress. The beautiful doll, no doubt the little girl's prized possession, looks very normal until the camera picks up something very unusual and equally disturbing. The little girl seems to be focusing on the camera operator and doesn't pay much attention to the doll she is holding. In fact, the pair are deep in conversation when the doll moves its head slowly to look at the girl holding it. The camera operator notices almost immediately and informs the girl, who instantly screams. The video ends there, but at this point, you've arguably seen enough.
Yeah.
You can understand the reaction here.
Drop it, Daddy. Go get that for me. Thank you. And get rid of it. Burn it. Do whatever.
As as the girl didn't see her doll move, but when she looked at it, she probably wasn't expecting it to be staring right back at her. Now that's really creepy. If I could make a guess,
Yeah.
this doll's heading straight for the trash can. Number 2. Doll moves twice. In another black and white video, there appears to be a series of dolls lined up. During the course of the minute-long clip, the video flickers from lack of lighting, while the doll on the far right-hand side makes a couple of slight movements. On both occasions, it turns its head to face the other dolls before quickly shuffling back into position. You could argue that this video has been staged due to the positioning of the doll that's moving. Since it's on the edge, it's more likely that a string or pulley system could be utilized. Its two movements are rather bizarre and do look a little awkward in comparison to other doll movements we've seen, so it could all be a clever ruse. But you never know. Stranger things have happened, and this list has already shown us plenty of them. Number 1.
I'll tell you right now, after you see that video, what you can do with that doll is you give it to someone you don't like that much. Maybe it'll go to them. Never know. Who knows?
Bewitched doll. This video is truly bizarre. It appears to be set in a rural neighborhood. There are multiple people surrounding a large doll. She is almost on the scale of a small child and dressed completely in pink. The video isn't in English, so it's not easy to understand what's going on. One minute, the doll's standing still. The next minute, the owner has it by the hand. As they walk with it, the doll appears to do the same. The doll's movements are awkward, but are very similar to how a human would walk, particularly a little human that hasn't had a lot of practice. Everyone around is quite surprised by this, with the pair walking around.
Surprised? Do you not see that it has black eyes? Or no eyes? I mean, I do. Do y'all? But it looks just like the first one, the wooden one. Did he upgrade it maybe? Whatever he did, it's not for me. Yep, maybe for y'all, if y'all are into that stuff, but not for me.
In a small circle. From a distance, it looks like the owner's walking around with a little girl, but get up close and you might be convinced that paranormal activity exists. With this one, I'm not so sure. There are a lot of reasonable explanations behind this footage, including a mechanical doll. They're out there. What do you think? When it comes to dolls, some have the power to haunt you, others not so much. It really depends on their facial expression, their location, and perhaps their age. Are you one of the many who prefer to keep them at arm's length, particularly when the lights go out at night? If so, then these clips must have been a real treat. Also,
yeah, those clips must have been a real treat for y'all, if y'all like dolls near you. Me? No, I don't have no doll near me. And if somebody wants to put a doll near me, feel sorry for them, because it ain't gonna stay there. Period. End of story. End of combo. It is what it is. Anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Thank y'all so much for watching this one. Remember, if you're new here, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and smash that like button. Don't just hit it. Smash it. You know, take your fist and just BAM! Hit that thing. But anyways, glad to hang out with y'all. Sir Hooligan, out.